Fox 8 is partnering with the Salvation Army to provide critical relief to Western North Carolina after the storm. Major Andrew Wiley serves in Winston-Salem, and you've been in the Salvation Army for decades, so you have seen a lot of storms, and you've been to disaster zones too. This one is maybe unique because of the topography there. It's one thing when a flat area is hit, but something like this with mountains makes it even more difficult, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, we've all seen some of the footage coming out of there, and when you get that volume of water rushing down the mountain, the force is just incredible. And you end up with such isolation as we've seen. Bridges cut off, roads cut off, people can't get out, they can't get the things they need, and so it really is just mind-boggling to see some of this unfold.
What are you hearing from the crews that you already have there? What are they telling you about what they're able to accomplish so far?
Right, communication obviously has been very challenging from the beginning, and that's starting to get a little bit better. There's a long way to go, and so just getting information out was a challenge at first. Just knowing
no cell service or anything.
No
like
cell
that.
service, no internet. You know, we have Salvation Army units that are in those areas year-round that are part of those communities, and just connecting with those personnel to make sure they're okay. And what is their situation? Are they surviving it? What are the needs? What is the situation? And assessing it was very challenging. There were a couple of days we weren't even hearing from some of them to know if they were okay and what they were experiencing and how best to help. Some of the challenge has been just with not having access into the area generally. As you said earlier, I've been around for a long time. I've been with the Salvation Army for just over 40 years, so I've done a lot of these things. And generally when it happens, we're rushing in oftentimes before the storm, and we're rushing in and we're doing what needs to be done, make the assessment, do what that particular community needs. In this instance, we couldn't get there. And that made it even more challenging.
Just reaching the people
right.
At this point. So everybody says, I want to help, I don't know how. What is the best way for people to help? You can make a financial donation. People want to bring supplies. What do you need?
Absolutely. And at this point, given the nature of the situation, financial contributions are the best way to help for a lot of reasons. For one, logistically, just getting materials in and out of there when access is so limited. And so it just really helps. And we're focusing right now on mass feeding. And so we really want to make sure that these people are getting fed. We had a situation, our Hendersonville office just yesterday started serving 2 hot meals a day. They were finally able to get up and running and get some support in there once 26 opened up. And so they started yesterday feeding 2 meals a day. They had a gentleman show up there looking for a hot meal for he and his mother who suffers with dementia. And they've been looking for a hot meal for 3 days and just hadn't been able to find it. And they got a hot meal yesterday at the Salvation Army because we were able to get up and running. And so we're really trying to focus right now our efforts on mass feeding and taking care of those immediate needs. These people have been cut off for days, and a hot meal, as you mentioned earlier when we were talking, we take things for granted. I'll go grab lunch today and I won't think twice about it necessarily. These people haven't had a hot meal in days. And
they're spending part of their day searching and looking.
Right.
And you also have crews there that need to be resupplied. When you talk about it, at least we heard 40 going west has finally opened up, 26 opening up. You can start to get supplies back into your crews there too, because they're going through a lot of food, a lot of water as well.
Absolutely, and so for us, focusing on mass feeding, those financial contributions help to fund that, make that possible, because we need to buy in bulk. You don't want to go in and serve hundreds of people in a community from individual cans that we would buy at the grocery store.
Sure.
Very time consuming, and so we need to be able to buy in bulk to get the volume that we need to actually produce a mass meal and feed some of these folks. And we're doing that. We've been doing that not just in Western North Carolina. Aiken, South Carolina, from the onset of the storm, power was out, trees were down, and the Salvation Army became a refuge for people who had nowhere to go. And we had a family of 7. A tree fell right through the middle of their house. And they took refuge at the Salvation Army. The Salvation Army immediately began to feed in that community, and by Sunday afternoon had served over 5,000 meals just in Aiken alone as the storm was still making its way. And so those are the kinds of things that we're up against, and made even more difficult by the limited access.
And are going to be up against long term. This is not something that's going to be solved in weeks or months, right?
Absolutely. We're in for the long haul. The Salvation Army is going to be there. We're going to do what we need to do to help those families, and I think that's important for people to know that and understand that financial support really is going to make that happen. In addition to mass feeding, one of the things that we will do is our units are rolling in and reaching these remote communities and providing that food and support that's needed. We also will have with those units emotional and spiritual care officers, and these people are trained and equipped to come in, and while they're providing these meals and doing the things that need to be done, They're there to listen, because a lot of times people in this situation just need somebody to talk to and to listen and let them get out what they're experiencing. And I'm reminded, I go back, and I was sharing with you before we went on the air, in '99, the floods in eastern North Carolina, my parents lost everything they'd owned, lost their house, 3 feet of water, 5 feet of water for 3 weeks. My dad then dies shortly after that. It was just a very difficult time. And it took a long time to come back from that. But I remember as we were cleaning out, and you're seeing a lot of that today on the TV, people are in there cleaning out houses, throwing away all their belongings because they can't salvage it. And my dad wasn't physically able to do that, but a Salvation Army team was in that area, and they allowed him to sit with their worker and just talk about what he was experiencing while others did the work, and the value that was for him. And so we will be doing that multiple times over in the western part of our state as we go through these next few days and weeks.
People through the toughest time in their life.
Exactly.
Major Wiley, we appreciate what you're doing today and in the weeks and months ahead. Thank you so much. We want to let you know that so many people, again, they want to help. They say, how do I do it? Easiest way to do it is take out your phone right now, open up the camera, point it at the screen. You see that QR code, Fox 8 and the Salvation Army teaming up. That's the way you can make a donation. You touch that, it'll take you right to the Salvation Army website to learn more about how you can help make a safe donation. That's the easiest way to do it. We've also got that information on our website, myfox8.com, right on the homepage, so you can see it there. We're back in just a moment.